Here in our JavaCo magazine file from the exercises folder, I can click on this frame and I can see that this story jumps to some page later in the document. Let me zoom in on this. And if I knew exactly where this story jumped to, well, it would be easy for me to go in here and, let's say, choose the type tool and drag out a type frame and it says continued on page. I don't know what page to put there because I don't know where this goes, right? What we need is some way of adding a continued on page marker which will update automatically for us. And in fact, we can do that by going to the type menu, choosing Insert Special Character, going to the markers submenu, and then choosing Next Page Number. It inserted the number 6, which is actually the page number that we're currently on. I'll press the Escape key to jump back to the Selection tool, and then press W to go out of preview mode, and we can see that this frame is sitting all by itself out here on the page. It's not threaded to anything, so InDesign doesn't know what number to put there, so it simply puts the regular page number, whatever page it's sitting on. What we want to say is that this text frame, and in particular this marker, this page number marker, should refer not to the text frame itself, but to this frame up here, the one that has the story in it. We can do that by dragging this text frame on top of that frame. If that frame is touching or on top of the other frame, it will update the number. Here, it's just barely touching that other frame, and you can see the number updates to page 8. That is the page that this story is linked to, it's threaded to. I'm going to double-click on this to switch back to the Type tool. I'll select all with Command-A or Control-A on Windows, and then use Command-Shift-I on the Mac or Control-Shift-I on Windows to make it italic. That way, it just stands out a little bit more. Now I'll press Escape to go back to the Selection tool again, and I'm going to copy it to the clipboard from the Edit menu, and go to page 8 itself. In this case, I know that it's just below here, so I'll use Option Spacebar, and I'll just drag down here until I see page 8. There it is. That's what it's linked to. Now I'm going to paste that frame here, and I'll move it in. And in this case, we don't want to say where it's going to, so I'll delete that. We want to say where it's coming from. So I'll go back to the Insert Special Character, down to the Markers submenu, and choose Previous Page Number. The previous page number doesn't mean anything until I drag that frame over until it snaps up against this frame. Now we can see that this is continued, not on page 6, but continued from page 6. There we go. This is very convenient, but it becomes really convenient when we change something like the page numbering. You know, if the pages got rearranged, or let's go ahead and change the section numbering of page 1. I just double-clicked on that little black triangle so that this page is going to start on page 47 instead, let's say. Click OK. Come back to where we were. Let's go back here. Now all the page numbers are updated. So I'll go back to where we were, let's say page 52 now. I'll scroll down until I get to the bottom of the page, and we can see that this story is now continued on page 54. It updated it for us. Have you ever sent a file to press with all the wrong page numbers in it because the proofreader didn't check them all? If you use these automatic page numbering and continued on page markers, that'll never happen again.